Do you know what I like to do when I'm wearing my new Misfits shirt? I like to look at some baseball cards. Hey, this was a special gift from my best friend Scott over at Reindeer Studios. He's your best friend too. Thanks again, Scott. This is awesome. He made a special shirt and took the sleeves off for me. So my man Mike over at Scoots Collectibles, I got to spend some time with him at the National. It was great. Great meeting you, Mike. Hanging out. We hung out several times. But he commented on my last video, and something along the lines of that he's been feeling stressed out in organizing his collection or something along those lines. And it struck home with me because just recently, the past few days, I've been going through that. Since I got home from the National, I have all kind of things to organize and get into the proper boxes. And I thought, if he's feeling that way, and if I'm feeling that way, there are probably other collectors who feel that way. And I thought, maybe I should talk about it. Sometimes it makes you feel better if other people are going through the same thing you're going through, and just to talk it out. I don't know why, but I've been a little stressed about so organizing cards lately, because I have a lot of cards. I have a lot to put away. If you're like me, you probably have a secondary box filled with cards that you need to sort or put away where they belong, and it gets overwhelming. And also, it can kind of get stressful if you're disorganized. Like right now, I have things everywhere, and I'm trying to reorganize, and it weighs on you because you know that you have this there. And a lot of us are procrastinators. When I get into those moods, I try to get myself into a positive mood by doing something, right? Just starting to do something that I've been putting off. Whether it's organize my closet, wash my car, something around the house that needs done. Just start a little at a time. Do something and get that momentum going to feel like you're making progress. Because you can get kind of depressed if you feel like you have to do something, but you're not doing it. You're procrastinating it. And that can make you feel bad. And I noticed in the modern hobby, we do kind of take it, us collectors, I'm not talking about the people that are in the card business, but for us collectors, we do kind of treat it like a business. We take it so seriously. And I see, and I've noticed this for a while, like content on here has kind of shifted. It used to be like how to sell cards was one group, and I don't know, grading reveals, which we still have. People talking about grading and the grades they get and complain about them. And then we had just the collectors that just like to show cards or give information. And now there's another segment, a newer segment, that there's been a big push towards. And that is, the constant videos of how should you collect? What should you collect? What's going to go up in the future? It's like we're taking collecting and treating it like a business. And I think when we do that, that too adds a little stress. We especially see these before Strongsville, before the National. You have to have a strategy. What's your strategy for collecting? We have spreadsheets and just all the things you would associate with if you were going to be a professional day trader or if you were going to start your own business. We're starting to treat our cards that way, where you have to have a strategy. You have to constantly talk about what's the next thing to go up. You got to constantly talk about the prices, the current prices, where a price is heading, what you should be collecting, And it just struck me that, all this stuff kind of leads to a more stressful environment of collecting. We're constantly analyzing everything and over-analyzing everything rather than just being. You know, when I go to the National, I don't have a game plan. I like to be free. I see something I like, I buy it. It makes me happy. I'm not stressed about it. That's not what everybody does, but I like to collect to get away from work, to get away from stress. It's a, stress reliever for me more than anything. And, you could get wrapped up in what holder should I put these cards in? Well, I want them all to match. Should I put them all in these holders? Should I get them all graded? Oh, I got this SGC and all the rest are PSA. I need to send that over. And then maybe you start stressing out about the money you're spending just on holders, on Mag Pros, on grading, on resubmitting, on crossovers, because a lot of us collectors are a little bit anal, and you want everything, like maybe you want the whole set, or a small set of 20 cards or something. You want them all uniform. And, spending the money or chasing certain cards can also be stressful. You feel real good about spending that money at the moment until the payment goes through. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Should I have spent that? I think sometimes you get that buyer's remorse, or you jump on something too quickly and then you see it for far less right afterwards. I think we all can agree that we all kind of go through that, at least to some extent. And then you end up with a bunch of stuff, and then you got to figure out, do I want to give this away, send it to fellow YouTubers? Do I want to list it on eBay? Maybe I want to go set up at a card shop, because I have all these cards, many of which, I bought and maybe I didn't want. Maybe I have these doubles laying around. I'm spending so much money. Should I offset that and set up at a show, sell some stuff on eBay? I see a lot of people nowadays that are downsizing, getting rid of stuff they don't truly love, and just going after the grails, because there's this phenomenon going on where so many people are buying these $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 cards. Do you feel the need to keep up with that? Has that changed the way you collect? Do you feel the need to sell off cards, that you've had, you've enjoyed, but you want to get those really big cards, and so you've talked yourself into downsizing? I think we all go through that too. I know years and years and years ago, I didn't have the money to buy everything. At one time, and I'm talking many years ago, like in the 90s, I had traded away my football cards for baseball. I said, I'm just going to focus on baseball cards. I can't collect it all. Well, that didn't last very long, And there are other times where I sold off other kinds of items that weren't cards. I'm just going to focus on cards. And I sold some stuff, and I didn't want to collect oversized stuff, so I sold some of that. And man, still regret it to this day. I sold one particular item I want to have back so bad. But when we start overanalyzing or overthinking or stressing, I don't know that we always make the best decisions when we're doing that. And like I said, more and more and more of what I see on YouTube is collecting strategy. How should you collect? What should you collect? All these people telling us how we should collect, what we should collect. And it's I don't know, it's almost offensive in some ways that you're telling me what I should do. I don't know. That's what was on my mind. As always, thanks for hanging out with me.